Is that better? Tell me if you can hear me now.
On YouTube? Oh no, TikTok can hear me. Morning, TikTok. Just waiting to see if YouTube, better. Okay, sorry about that. So we did build our Porsche building yesterday. I'll show TikTok first. We finished our handrails. What are you do? We are building. We're going to build a kit. But I want to quickly show off what we did yesterday. We did finish off our Porsche construction. I think that came up really well. We've got a couple of things we need to add to this, which is our Porsche signs. I'm going to probably add these on the front. So we're going to have some Porsche logos on the front of our build. I don't know if that was actually designed to do that, because you do have the Porsche logo, which we're going to paint red. So that's going to go right in the middle. But we got there. Sorry, my spelling isn't the best. We are building, mate. We're about to build a kit. I was going to bring the camera down for YouTube. Hello, Ner. Hope you're well. We're just going to bring this nice and low so you can actually see what we're doing. So that was yesterday's build. A couple of quick add-ons. I'll quickly show it again. We're going to put 2 Porsche signs, maybe on the front or the side. I'm not too sure yet. The sides might look good. And we're going to still put the big Porsche in the middle, paint that red. The whole building's going to be white, I think white and grey. And it is modular, so we've got the actual roof that comes off. So we finished that yesterday. Thanks for the follow, mate. I appreciate that, Charlie. Thanks for the follow. But today, we're going to move this aside. Don't break it. We're going to move this aside down here. And we're going to continue with a grandstand, which is going to be, let me see if there's any questions. No. Is going to be, hello, Ner. Hope you're well. For the HO 164 wheel. So let's rip this one open. And I'll show you a picture of it before we get into it. It shouldn't be a tricky build. There's a lot of parts and pieces. This is what we're going for. It is a hairpin grandstand, and I'll show YouTube as well. Got a little hairpin grandstand, so your track will go on the inside, whether you've got a slot car track or you've got yourself some diecast stuff. Let me see if I can bring this camera over a bit better so you guys can see there as well. Yep, let's see how that goes. So let's get stuck into it. First things first, like all the videos I've done, we're going to use no instructions. We're just going to go for it. Clucky, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thanks, Clucky. And this is all wood routed, wood lasered, I should say. Sorry, wood lasered. So it literally falls out, and you can see here as I lift one up, it already wants to fall out. So we're going to press all these out like a big puzzle. And then, is there tape on the back of that one? Oh, there is. And then we are going to literally just start building it, and we'll glue it at the end. We have built, I think, maybe 5 or 6 kits, maybe a bit more now. So next lives will be us getting the painting done and some finer touches. I want to add some pretty cool features to some of these builds. And you can see all this wood stuff just literally falls out, all the internal stuff that we don't need. It's all the junk, so we can throw all that out. I've got myself a little bit of self-promotion here, but we've got ourselves a little cup, little cuppy, and we'll put all our junk in there. My next project too, in HO or 32? This is HO, mate. This is HO. We are building a little bit of HO today. Well, we've been building HO all week. It's been a bit of a theme. We will get some bigger stuff, I think, in the future to build. But let me just get all these parts and pieces out the way so we can continue with the press outs. You've got to be real careful with these press outs because they are very thin and I don't want to damage anything. I'm also in the middle of filming a video. Outside there, I've got a track set up. I've been filming a Scalextric analog to digital conversion video. I was just waiting to get some advice about some of the pieces that I was using. Let me move that out of the way. Sorry, YouTube, gave a bit of a hit. Thanks for the follow, Adam. I appreciate it. Cheers. So let's keep pushing this stuff out. Now, there's going to be tape on some of these, which will hold it in place, and some of it will just press out, but I'm being very careful because there's a lot of pieces for this one. This is going to be one of our biggest builds, I think. When it comes to piece count, there's a lot, and you can see here, we're pressing them out of this big wood base, I guess you'll call it. But I'm just making sure I don't throw anything out that's not part of the build because there's a lot there. How everyone is going on YouTube. We've got YouTube and TikTok watching. I do appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you. If you're enjoying it, let me know. We spoke RC yesterday. We spoke a couple of hobby things yesterday. If there's any topics you want to talk about, it's a bit of a chill session. In between filming videos, I'm trying to get some lives out, and I think this stuff is good fun. I am still searching. I'm actually going to go to a shop today and look at a table. I did speak yesterday about building this into like a coffee table. Average nerd. We are building a hairpin today. It's a diorama hairpin. I'll show you for YouTube as well. We are building the hairpin. There's nowhere I can really put this that you guys can see that full time, but I'm happy to keep showing it if people want to know. So this stuff is made in Australia, and it was sent to me here in Europe. I really need to learn how to put music on TikTok because I don't know how to put the music on. Making sure we don't lose any pieces. Everything that I think is part of the build, I'll put in a pile, and everything that's rubbish, we'll put in the cup. Because if we do throw it out, at least it's in the cup and I know what's in there. Some more parts. All the little parts have got sticky tape backing because they do fall out quite easily, so we don't lose them. Get rid of the tape because that's going to be our worst enemy. So this is the boring part. It's where we're starting to pull everything away from. It's my next project. What is your next project, mate? What are you building? Average. That's so cool. Do you mind if I stay and watch? Oh, mate, of course you can. Of course you can. We won't be doing any painting today, but yeah, of course you can. Any questions, mate, let me know. Let us know what you're building. We've got this little rail, so I'm going to pump this little section out here. That one piece that I'm about to pull out, which we've been very gentle with, that is going to be a rail. So that goes around the front. I'll show you the picture again in the tick. But it's so finely put in there, I don't want to snap it. So let me see if I can get it out without breaking it. I think we will. There we go. Here we go. Oh, everything's so finely cut. How's this one looking? Yep, good. So you don't want to snap that. That is the part that we are needing out of that whole entire sheet, is this little flimsy part here. So we'll put that aside. Anything else on here? I think that's empty. So that's sort of the offcut. That one can go away. So we don't get confused. We've got another section to go through, which all the parts and pieces are already falling off. I'm going to keep all these little skinny rails together. So they're going to go and be put aside. Just making sure I don't damage anything. I don't know if YouTube can see that properly. Let me just fix your camera tubes. There you go. I think TikTok's is all right. All right, so this is another rail. Here's another one here. They're going to be the handrails, and then you've got all the base coming out, which we'll just press these out gently. Again, this is the boring part. Getting all this stuff apart is the time consuming, and then we start building it, hopefully correctly. Can you guys see that as well? There we go. So let's get that out. That's fallen out. Nice. Got a gantry, a walkway. This is where the staircase will be built. Just making sure that that's fallen through. Let's get rid of this tape. So they're going to be little supporting posts for our hand. That's our handrail. I believe that's going to be our handrail supports. Really small. These guys are. I'll be building the hairpin too. In just worried about blocking the view of the track. The cars fly around the hairpin. I reckon it'll look good. I reckon it'll look good in 132. We did HO because I got a fair few Hot Wheels and that, and I'm trying to build. I want to build a table which this all sort of goes into, so like a coffee table, and then you put a lid on it so it disappears, but then as a party trick you take the lid off and there's a full-blown raceway in your coffee table. That's what I want to try and do. So I've gone with a HO. So that's off-cut. You can see there's a little bit of waste in this kit, but I try and keep all that just in case I need any off-cuts to help with gluing or pressing. I don't know where that came from. We'll put that aside. And this is our last piece. This is our last piece. I can leave top story off. Oh yeah, you can actually leave. Oh yes, actually that's not a bad idea. I would do that. So let me get that picture out so you can have a look. So you can leave that section off here, which will still look really good. So that's what we're building. If everyone wants to know, that's what we're building. Yeah, that'll still look good. I think that'd be fine. Here's our base. So that's going to be literally the base. So the truck will go around the inside. Oh, sorry, the outside over the inside, And you got all your bases here, which these are probably going to build up to be like a bit of a 3D effect. But once we get them all out and everything out, we can sort of start looking at where we start from. So that one comes out. Just try not to break anything. And then this one comes in as well. So that's all our handrails. It's a lot of, there's actually a lot of waste in these kits, which there's only one way to really build them. And this is going to be, ooh, that just fell out. This is going to be all of our handrails. We've got some tape holding that together, which is going to be, there we go. So that's all the pieces are done. Now I'm going to keep that together for now, because that's going to be our steps, which will go almost how we see it now, but it's going to, we are making a 164 gantry. So we're making a 164, grandstand. And this I'm going to leave taped together because this is going to be almost, it's going to pop out like 3D. So it's going to get up nice and close. Let me just give you some more camera angle. There you go, so you can see it. All right, now the fun part. Let's move everything out the way. I might leave this cardboard here because that's going to help us. And I want to start looking at, I'm just going to use the picture to see what we need. Now, these are going to double up for sure. That's going to be your top story. These are going to be your bottom story, and they're going to go together, I believe, to make a step. So it's going to be like a 3D pop-up. What are you making? What are you making? Let me quickly show you. A fair few people are joining and haven't seen it. We're making this hairpin grandstand for a diorama. And this is what's going to go above. So this is going to be our, what would you call, sort of top of the grandstand. So that's going to be at the top like this. So be able to, that's where I guess you can get a better view of the track. And then there's going to be a roof as well, which I'm guessing the roof, we'll figure it all out, but there's also a roof, which is probably going to be that, to be honest. So it's going to be like a 3-level tier. So we'll put that aside because we want to build our base first, which is all the steps. And if I can leave this here, you might be able to see. Let me just see if there's any, that's fine. All right, so let me have a look. We're going to start with the big sucker down the bottom. So let's just get rid of all of this. Let's peel this tape off. This is going to bring these all into, oh, there's so many parts for this one. Hopefully that all stays to the tape. Perfect. Leave that there, and then that should all rip apart and stick to the tape because I want those to stay there. So we're going to leave those on the tape. They're going to stay where they're at. We are building a grandstand that goes around a track. Let me move that so you can see. So I'm just looking at the picture, and we're actually doing it without any instructions. That's my goal. I'm going to try and build it backwards so it's facing you guys. So realistically, there shouldn't be anything. This is where it gets tricky because I'm not using any instructions, but we know it's going to go up like that. So our guardrails are simply these little posts here. I'm guessing they're going to be going in reverse way, something like so. So we've got a ton of guardrails. That's the first step. Nothing goes in the first one. So that's going to stay as is. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe not to you guys, but it does to me. So that's going to stay on the outside. Yep. So that goes, they're going to slide in little puzzle pieces. Now you should be gluing this as you go. We're not going to do that yet because I'm not too confident. Building dinosaurs that are out of wood, this kind of, oh right, yes, yeah, the old dinosaur kits. California, hello mate, hello. I can leave this up soon. I've seen the grandstands with the figurines, had camera flashes, how cool. Oh, would look awesome. Hello, Abel, I think, on YouTube. So how many have of these? We should have, so I'm just going to slide these in place and then I'll show you what I'm doing. These are what's going to hold the guardrails. So you've got a triple guardrail that go in the front level, which we're going to drop in from the top. And that'll make sense in the future. So I'm just future-proofing this build right now. So we're going to put all these in to make sure we've got enough. And then I really should glue them in place, but we won't do that yet. With every other build that we've done, we've dry run them first. Now, do you want the camera closer? Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. I better get a bit closer. There you go. And I think you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see. So we've got our guardrails. We've got these little dots. That's what's going to hold all of these in order because they're definitely in size order. That's what's going to hold all of these little thin pieces. Now, the way we're going to build that is we're going to wait till the end, and we're going to stand the whole build up on its flat side, and we're going to drop those in so we get them perfectly. So I think we'll leave. I know I've got enough of these. So we're going to take these out now, and we'll do that guardrail literally at the end once we've got all the build together. So now we know we've got enough. We know the process for that. Let's start building up our step. Now I'm looking at the picture, and we should have some ladder steps, which are these here. And these should all slide into each other in some fashion. There should be a ton of them. And this is where it gets tricky because they're all going to be doing something a little bit different. Unless that's, no. Aha, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, sort of. No, that's not it. No. Lucky. So this is why we don't glue them straight away. These are what we need. I don't know if they're in any particular order. That is a smart design. So let me quickly show you that. That is really, really cool. So we've got this little ladder effect here, this little staircase here. And I was using these completely wrong. This is going to be for the second level rally. So apologies, that's wrong. But these little things here, they're like a little wedge piece. They actually lock into the front. So if I lift it out, I'll quickly see if I can do a demonstration. Got the front, they lock into the front, up and under. And then you pull it closer to yourself, and then there's a hole that locates into the bottom. So that locks them in. That's really smart. So I'm going to move all of this out the way because that's going to take a little bit of work, because I want to make sure that they're all the same length, because they might not be. So let's have a quick look at that, because they're all going to be, they've all got to reach their destination without fault. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just dry run that. This is a genius build though. I'll tell you what, the amount of thought that's gone in, the engineering that's gone into knowing what you need to do to make sure everything lines up. I don't know how people, SLOTCAR House has just done an epic job on these. I don't know how they think about it. To me, it's just too much to think about. Building it's not a problem, but designing it, kudos. So this is going to be a real fidgety build. There's going to be lots of stuff falling out of place. It's going to be one of those builds that will take a lot more time, because of the intricate, can I say that word? Intricate design. Okay, so there we go. We've got 3 in and they're lining up perfectly. We do have some bigger ones, which are worrying me, because they're going to go out I'm guessing they're going to go out the back like so. Let's push all this stuff out, because that's only going to get in the way. We'll put in now a couple of rubbish. B-Rads, hello mates. Hope you're well. We're back to building. We are back to building. This is our last kit, actually. Our last kit. And then we're going to start painting, if I can actually find some paint. And I am working on a video. I did say this at the start of the stream. I am working on a video at the moment for Scale Electric, just putting some stuff together for an upgrade video from analog to digital. And we are coming into winter, so it's quite tricky being outside with the track. But hopefully that changes soon. Hopefully I won't be outside for too much longer. We'll see what happens. So I'm guessing there is going to be an order to this. So I've got to just take my time, because these have all still got certain, some have got locking. Yeah, so this is where it gets a bit tricky. And we are doing this without instructions. I'm not going to give up and go to any instructions. I'm just going to go for it. So we haven't got many left. That's those steps. These most definitely have to cross over each other, so that we know that. We can see that. So we're going to cross this one over, and then it all hopefully should make sense once that goes into locking. Is that going to push down, or have I done something wrong there? So that goes to there. Oh, that's a bit higher. Why is that higher? Why is that higher? So that's definitely going to be wrong. That's definitely going to be wrong, because this is going to be, that's higher for some reason. We know there's a guardrail there, so that has to stay, but that is higher. I'm guessing that's going to be pushing another level up or something like that. Let's see. Let's just do this, because I've got a funny feeling it's going to do that, but that doesn't make sense, because then everything's higher. Think. This won't go there, so it can't be that. Let's go to the picture. Let's go to the picture. Handrails. Yeah, that's actually a good call. So it goes to the back. So it goes to the back. Good call on that one. So the handrails go to the back, all the way to the back. So that means it must click in to the back here. So we looked at the picture. So that has to go like that. So that's pressing. It's just going to be resting there for now. But that's the back. Why do we have... I'm missing something here. I'm just trying to think this out loud to myself. The fronts are all going to be what we were doing before, but they do have a rhyme to them because they've all got different backings. Yeah, we're building a grandstand. We're back to building a grandstand. So I hope you're enjoying it. Scenery is fun. Cutting into builds through spray booths is fun. Hello, Chris. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, look, I'm probably taking off more than I should be chewing because every other build's been really easy with no instructions. But I did say, and SLOTCARS House, I did speak to him on the phone. He said, Trav, please do this one by watching my video. And I said to him, no, I want to struggle. So we're going to try and work this out. We know the backing. There is a bit of a rhyme to these. And what I'm getting at there is we're going to have some that are cut out, which I can clearly see here, that they're going to interconnect. So some of these will have a little nib on them. I don't know if you can see that on the cameras. So they're going to actually nib into each other. So there will be a bit of a rhythm to how these ones, that one's upside down, how these ones work. So that definitely works like so. One's flat, so that's going to go to the back. And this one then's got a middle section. So how does that work? How does that look? Let's figure that out. I'm going to put this one right in the center because, and this is the tricky part, is figuring out how these go. So that one has to be in the center because it won't be anywhere else. Otherwise, that center bump won't line up with anything. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm probably wrong, but I reckon we can work this out pretty quickly. So these two are going to be the right spot, especially when they're joining. So they join fine. They're joining dead center. We're going to have another one's got a nib on it, which we just had. That's got a center nib. We're going to have one with a top nib. Where did we put that? No, not over here. So we've got a second set of steps. Don't forget about that. So that doesn't have a nib, but these two do. Why is that? This one's going to be the best American. So that would have to go there for sure. That would have to go there because they don't have a nib. And what I mean by that is there's nothing for it to join into, which is fine. And this one must have to go here, but there should be one with a top cut. And that's all of them. So that's all of them resting. That's all of them resting. But there is going to be a caveat to this. So we know the back one, that's fine. This one will definitely have to be here as well because that's the only last one. So that's going to be it. We're just going to build that star in the center. I don't know if that makes sense if you're watching. See you later, mate. Cheers. Boys are here for race night. I'll watch later. Yeah, no worries, mate. We're just playing around. There's nothing serious about this stream. Scenery is fun. So think. Where's that picture? Let's go to the picture because that's going to give me a little bit of an idea. We do have some triangle cutouts that go in. Geez, this is tough. So let's build this. We're going to build two things in one here because I've got a funny feeling that is not happy. That's the staircase. Oh, just trying to figure out what goes where is the tricky part. Oh, God. So these have to be the right side. So that's not that, that's not that, that's not that. All right, so we figured that out pretty quickly. This here has to be these, unless we're upside down, because then that makes it a bit easier. Yep, okay, that's cool. We'll get that. Talking to myself. That's what happens when you get old. Now, these might be in the wrong spot, but I'm just going to dry run them. This is going to hold up the second level, and that will give us the idea of if we're doing the right thing, because there should be 4 of those smaller versions and then 4 big versions by the looks of it upstairs, which have got a bigger arc. So I'm just going to join all these together off build just to see how we're going with them, because that's what they look like. But I've got a funny feeling they're in the wrong spot. I really do. That's our staircase. That's the second level. There's no issue with that. We know that's the second level. And then there's a double on top. Okay. Okay. Which means, look at me trying to figure this out, acting like I'm smart. I'm lost. I'm lost now because I'm looking at these pieces going, they all look the same. We know that's the second level. We don't know if I've got the right one first because there's a staircase that's going to be part of the build. That's going to go like that. Is this one going to be the one that goes on top? And I've got to say no, because it can't be because that's got too many little cutouts, where this one should either be the top as well. But there is no base for the staircase. There is no base for the staircase, which is what's throwing me off. None of these have a spot for the staircase. That's handrails. That's definitely handrails. Is that a double? No, it's not a double. This is a tricky build. This is a tricky build. I'm just trying to work it out in my head because there's one that doubles on top. It won't be that one. It won't be that one. So that's going to be a roof. We know that one of these doubles on top is a roof. These have got a shadow line. This one's going to get the best of me, I think. It really is. It really is. All right. Let's reschedule this one. Let's see if we can build from up above. It's going to be smaller. Yeah, okay. Figure that out. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because it's got to be a bigger hole. Yep. Okay. So what I've done here is these holes are bigger on one of these, which makes a lot of sense now because you've got to fit two builds into one. But there is a rhyme to how they go, and that's not it because that's on the inside. Yes. That's on the inside. This is the most challenging one we've done so far, by far. All right, so we know that's the second level. We've got to now build up the bottom, but I know what I've done here is they're all the same size. Yes, they're all the same size. That should go into here. Now we're going to get somewhere like that. That needs to go down the bottom like that. Are we missing one? We've got one here. Are we missing another one? Yeah, found it. Stop looking, found it. That's going to go down the bottom as well. Nice and tight. Tweet. And then that's going to marry together, like so. That's how that has to go, I believe. No. No, I've got another thought. I've got another thought. I've got another thought. This is it here. Because it's got its base. Or maybe it doesn't. So that one goes there. Interesting. I'm noticing two different sizes now, which is not good because I've done it the wrong way. That's probably why. So they're the bottoms. Okay. Let's work this out. I did say this is going to get the best of me. Aha. Aha, ha, ha, ha. So that's the bottoms. Like that. So we need another one with a small bottom. That's what we need. So is that, no, that's a bigger one. Yep, yeah, there is a rhyme to them. So I did them the wrong way. That was my fault. Because these holes marry up to two small ones on the below. That one's going to be small. Look at that. That one was done by accident. Perfect. All right, so we're getting somewhere now. We know that there is a rhyme to how you put these triangles together, or whatever you want to call them. They're not triangles, whatever that means. This is our staircase that we already know that's our staircase because there's got an area there for the staircase. Trying to look through this is a bit tricky. Again, you should be gluing this as you go, but I don't because I don't want to glue it straight away because I know I'll make mistakes. It's going to be tricky to line up. That's the one's lined up. Now we're going to line this one up. Hey, so that's it. Yes! But there's got to be a, what's that for though? Because we must have another two. Oh yeah, of course. What are you saying? What's that for? Now, I don't know, you probably can't see this. Is that ROKR set? No. You might not be able to see, but on top we've got some holes here. I'll see if I can show YouTube. On top of our build here, we've got a double hole punch. So that's just a big open hole for that. I guess we'll call that a star for now. And there's a center, the center side is empty. What I mean by that is, you know that only one size can fit in there. So he's cut two holes into one to make sure you know that you're putting the right one in. So what I mean by that is the bottom one has got the biggest spread, and now we need to find the feet that do the smaller spread. So we can do that easily. Oops, my connection just died off. By turning it upside down and putting these ones in. And that should clip in. Yep. Look at that. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. We are cooking with gas. Yes. This one should do the same thing. Okay, I'm pretty confident to glue all this soon, but I just want to dry run it. So that is our top of this. So we're getting there. And then next to that will be this guy on top. And then you have your cover plate. That is epic. That is bloody epic. Look at that. That thing is sick. That is really, really cool. So we know how that's built. That's fine. We've got guardrails to put in. We've got all other fun parts to put in. That's not a problem at all. I'm just looking at the guardrails that are down the bottom. We've got a fair few up top. So the guardrails up here should be these little guys. Should be, famous last words, because we do have a handrail that is shaped exactly like this. Oh, I've got to glue all that in. So I won't do that. So we can actually probably take that off and build this off separately as well. So you've got many little separate builds going on here. So I'm just going to put these in place so we don't lose them. Because I'm guessing that this is what this is. And then there should be some separate handrails on their own that go around the staircase. And these will press in place straight into their allocated holes. We should have one more, two more. I don't know how many it's going to take. We might have some spares, I'm not too sure yet, but it might actually keep going around. So what I've done here is, and I will show, upside down. So we have built the second level. That's where the staircase is going to go. We're going to have the rail that goes around, which is this little guy. I'm guessing it's going to be one of these. Yeah, it's going to be that guy. So that's going to be a rail by the looks of it that goes right around our build and then stops on the other side. Well, there's actually three of them. There's another little one here that will go in there as well. Two. So two rails. That's a two-rail job. That's really cool. So we'll build that up individually. How are we going on time? Because I actually have to duck out. Probably another 10 minutes, legends. This won't be a build that I'll be able to get done today. I thought I would, but it's going to be a tricky build. So now it's down to this thing again. This one's a pain in the bum because I don't know how these go together. I really don't. Because we've got back sides in front, but one of them, it looks like it's a double. So we're missing one that should be, because that goes there like so. This one can't do that because it's the same, unless it does. All right, I'm going to try something. Let's move that way. So that's that one there. So that one does sit too far. It's definitely not right. No. So it doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, that doesn't work like that. What am I doing wrong there? What am I doing wrong there? So let's get rid of that one. Once you get the order right, this would be simple, really simple to build. Once these are in the right position, it will just come together really quickly. It's just making sure I get them all lined up, because there is a part here that's saying no. So let's do this one here. How does that look? Sort of all right. I don't know. Is there one that goes this way? Maybe that's why that's there. Is there one that goes this way? Maybe there is one that goes that way. Is there a grandstand at the back? Like a, what does this do? No, doesn't do that. Oh, what's this one do? So then this one goes inside here like this. And then we should have one more. Where did I put it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we should have one more. I've obviously misplaced it somewhere. Where are you? Have I missed? Oh no, here it is. Yeah, it's idiots. It's right in front of me. I just don't know why that one's doing that. One of them's got like an extra plug. I don't know why it's doing that. Again, I am doing something wrong here. So that's how that should go. We'll get the one at the back, which we already know about that. And this one here is confusing me because the rail goes at the back, which is this one here. And I'm guessing that just goes literally straight across as well. So we've got a double, oh yeah, that's for the staircase. Okay. So the rail and then the staircase. Yeah, that's right. Just one of them, I don't understand where it goes. I don't think it matters. I really don't. Looking at these, where's those round pieces in order? Looking at these, that's going to be top. So biggest down the bottom, just seeing how that all clicks together will give me a bit of a visual. I'm guessing that one's in the wrong. No, that's right. Is there a bigger one? Up. Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, I think. So what's next? How do I tackle this? Do I just put it all together? Do I just reach underneath? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just put them all individually back into where I think they go, and then we just dry run the hell out of it. And then that will give us a really good idea of what it's going to look like. I've got this combination wrong, but I've got to do something to see what it looks like. Otherwise, I'm just going to be guessing the whole time. Feed this one under, lift him up. This one should then drop down. This one then should drop down as well. And there we go. That's all in place. Just making sure they're all seated. And then I can have a look at how this is all sitting. It does sit okay. But something is wrong. I'm doing something wrong here. I don't know why there is two. Because what goes on top there, it must marry up with this guy. That's what it marries up with. Yeah, it does. And there must be a center hole. So that marries up here. Yep. That's going to give us a real good idea of if we got it right or wrong. Because this guy goes in here like so. It goes in here, and then these all should line up, and they're not because I've got it in the wrong order. But that's your main structure. That's your skeleton. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to drop this one in. That's your skeleton. That's really, really cool. So we'll just bring him in without trying to lose our other ones. Okay, he's in there, everyone's back in their own little hole. Correct. Okay, so that's worked out good. And then put the lid on. We know that this goes on top of this one perfectly. and then they need it lined up. So I could probably build off that. But that's going to give us our main structure. And then, of course, on top of that, we're going to put our first step. This will cover up all the nice little holes that we're now seeing. So that will cover up, I guess you say, the mess plate. And then on top of that, we're going to have our second structure, which will then sit in place in its perfectly aligned holes. This is pretty epic. This thing is huge. And let's see if you can see that. And then last but not least, we're going to put on top this guy, like so. So it's going to be like a triple decker. Look at that. It's massive. And then, of course, individually, these will start going on and around where they need to go, which once I get it in the right spot, they'll start taking shape. So they'll just build up. Again, we're just going to dry run it. Next one will be probably this one. How many steps in between? Not that many, which is good. And this one goes in front, like so. This is epic. It looks good. This one then goes next. And again, like I said, once we get that bottom part started, the rest is just going to literally fall in place because it kind of has to. Because all of this is designed. That looks sick. It looks so good. It looks really good. And then over we go. Boom, that will fall into place. And then we've got our backing. This little backing piece here will then click onto the back like so. And then everything that will sort of hold nearly everything in, but we are missing a cross member. So some of these cross members will go on the back. They're definitely going to be a support for the back of it. But take a look at that. I mean, that's probably as far as I can get to it today, but it is going to turn out really well. There is some cross members. That's why there is some cutouts for some of these. I think it's just going to be this one, which is a support that goes underneath and holds all this together. But that is epic. Now, of course, the cardboard underneath isn't part of that. I could probably take that off because it is pushing it up on an edge. So let me see if I can get that out without, for my next trick. Okay, perfect. So that's how it's going to sit. This one comes through. How does this go? Does this go up and under? No, it must go through the, ooh, how does that work? Interesting. How does it, oh, it must be in the other one. Aha, and that's a locating pin. So that's going to slide. Let me quickly show that because I just figured that out then. I don't want to take it apart. So this little piece here will slide into our backing. This is what's going to hold the whole entire thing together from behind. And then when we build this up again, there's a little cutout here which will slide into the underground steps, and that will slide itself underneath, find all locating pins, and it will end up flush like this, which will then hold your whole entire structure. And then the last thing you'll be doing is putting up a heap of, I guess, guardrails, but I don't think I saw that many guardrails. Let me have a look. I don't think I saw that many guardrails. No, there is no guard. That's sick. So that's freestanding. Okay, that's cool. And then we've got our steps, which is self-explanatory. You've got some steps that will run up the side. That's going to be your steps for internal. So you've got 2 internal steps that are push-through style. Oh, yes, they're the best. These steps are really good, really cool design. The steps just fall into place. I can probably build that literally right in front of you. I like this step design. SLOTCAR House has used a lot of different designs for his steps, and I like this style, how you drop it into place, and then you put your cap on, and then she's done. And then I would glue the outside of these. I'll just glue the outside just to hold them all sort of in place without too much fuss. And then this will go there, like so. And then you literally get your other side of the steps and then do the same thing, marry it up where it was. Again, outside of the camera, to be able to drop in a lot easier, but then you line them up and that's your steps done. Really cool steps. Let's see if I can get that done actually, without damaging anything. Let's see if I got the shakes. No, I'm going to move this and do these steps off the building. So let me quickly just do that and I'll show you the outcome. Once you got 3 or 4 in, you just keep moving them across and then they just fall into place. And then the last one, I just have to lift up that corner like so. He sits there. It's a little bit fidgety, but once you got them in place, they all just drop in. There we go. That one, and then the last one. Now you should be gluing this as you go. I'm not, because I'll glue it all at the end, pretty much in situ. I've got one step stuck. And there it is there. Done. Done. Now these aren't glued, so I'm going to hold tight, but that's your staircase. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Little staircase that goes internally. And I would just glue those outsides. And that literally will then bolt in. I'm guessing the rails up the top. Yeah, so if we take this off and build this off up slowly, which we haven't finished it yet, that will probably go in like, does it go in like that? Yeah, up and under. Hey, that is cool. That's a really cool design. Steps go up and underneath, and then they rest. There's no guide down the bottom, which I don't mind that, because it's going to find its own resting spot. So there's no holes on the bottom, but that's how that rests in. That's a really cool design. So the staircase is ready to go. Again, we're building this in different modules because it is one of those builds where I like to build it all individually and then go, all right, we've got it right. We've got our balustrading, which I'll put together now. Got some side and back balustrading. These are the big boys. So they just clip in like a bit of Lego. And that should have a double cutout. One of them's got a double cutout. Both of them got it. Yep, that goes there. That clicks in. And then we've got something. Is that a rail? It looks like a bar or something. Is it a bar? Is this? If that is, that's pretty cool. Oh, it is. It's like a viewing. Yeah, that clips in. Oh, that is sick. Look at that little internal design. If I bring it over, it's got like a little internal wall. And I'm guessing that there's a lid for that, which I've probably misplaced. I haven't seen it anyway. No, I haven't. I don't think I have misplaced it. It must be, where's the picture? I'm trying to look at the camera to see the picture. I'll have to watch the video for that just to see what that looks like, but that's pretty much how it goes together. All right, there we go. So that is a little bit of the build. I will probably offline do some gluing and then finish it online at another stream because I am running out of time today. For those that did join, probably got another 5 minutes. So hang tight because I do want to try one thing whilst we're still going, but I think it's going to ruin the build, to be honest. I've got to move this off, which I'm not really wanting to do because I want to reveal. And I try, when I build these, I tried, and this is probably not the best way to do it, but I like doing this. I try and not glue things on that's not meant to be on. So like that, then I probably won't glue this on. I will glue these two together, which this is a double plate. It really makes a statement with the detail and size. I stepped away to spray more primer and come back to a tower. Yeah, once it starts growing, but what I would recommend, I still haven't got this correct. So the skeleton, if you are just joining, we've been building up the center of this. I haven't got these lined up properly yet underneath. I'm not confident that they're in the right spot. Once they are, I will glue all the steps on, the guardrails on, all the internal skeleton, because hold on, this is going to make more sense now. I was looking for that cutout before, and it wasn't on the piece I thought. It's on this. So that makes more sense now. That's going to help us line it up now, because that's going to drop in, and it's going to throw some of this build off, but it's going to give me an idea of where those bottom sections go, because that creates one big finish picture. That makes a lot more sense now. So I can rebuild all that. Well, we won't do that right now. So you get the idea of how this is going to look once it's finished. The backing goes on. So what I would do is I would glue what you see now all together. I'll make sure that's all finished. These two pieces will glue together because you've got a backing board. I mean, that's just to clean up the holes from underneath. Really smart design. I mean, if you left that there, look pretty yuck. So that covers over the top, gives you a nice little height as well. That I'll glue together. But then this here, I would literally let that rest. That will be plugged in because it's got some pin locators, and the rest of this build I will then glue as a separate tower. So this tower I will probably glue separately to the whole entire build. And the reason I say that is not that I want to take it apart. It's more if I want to show the inner workings, or if you are trying to frame this as a construction build, I would love to have some Easter eggs in here. And anyone that builds a track, if you look at slot mods, if you look at anyone that builds dioramas, there's always Easter eggs. If you look around somebody's track, they've got some fun stuff. And I can remember when I was in California in 2023, I went to the Far Out Race Club in near Hollywood Hills, I think it was. Yeah, it was near that. And he had a beautiful layout. I should do the video on it. A lot of my stuff unfortunately, a lot of my recordings I've done, even including the Slot Car Festival, was damaged. So I'm trying to retrieve all that back. And this is the same memory card. He had on his build so many Easter eggs. It was just fun looking around the track going, and I want to do the same here. I want to make sure you can take that off, and underneath here, look, there's some young people kissing, someone's having a smoke break, someone's down there playing their Game Boy or Switch, whatever generation you come from. So that's what I'll do. But it is going to come together really, really well. I think that might be, so I'm going to quickly run this staircase before I keep wanting to jump off, but I don't want to until I get this staircase in place, because I do want to see exactly how it looks, because I'm loving this. I think it's a really nice design. But I don't think I'm going to have to glue this staircase on. Is it going to go there? No, it's going to go there. Yeah, I don't really think I can be resting this and showing you. So unfortunately, that's probably not going to hold enough for me to show you in situ. But the staircase, it's going to come up pretty good. Wicked. And then last part, I'll do it once we've glued it all together. I'll then stand it on its end. So if you can imagine this picture here, the part will be on its end, and then I'll start feeding in the guardrails, which will make it a lot easier for me to feed it downwards instead of trying to get this right. I mean, realistically, it's not that hard, to be honest, to feed it in. I think we call it weaving, but if you weave that into place, famous last words, but I think to get them all lined up quicker, I'll be dropping from the top. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. There you go. 2 guardrails will go up the top. Now that we can, I figured it out. I want to quickly show you that as well. See, I'm finding little things here and there. So we did put a little internal wall. So there's a little internal wall inside here. Let me move that guardrail. And I was wondering what went on top. I'm thinking, what goes on top of that little internal wall? Well, when we put the guardrail on, it's got 3 locator holes that then puts it into position there. So it acts like almost like a tabletop sort of bench top. Really cool. There you go. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. I will now end it because I have got to go out. Please share these lives. I'm doing lives regularly at the moment, trying to get some full videos out of reviews and stuff, but it's been very busy on the personal end. So I do apologize if you are waiting on some videos. We will have those track videos coming back out, 3 amazing tracks. I will try and get one out this week if time lets me. If not, we'll get back into it very soon. But thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. If you don't mind supporting Slot Car House, he did send this to me. It is available in Australia. Show some love. Be safe. Take care. Ciao.